Hello, welcome to today's webinar on the Oracle HCM Cloud Roadmap hosted by Yazad Dalal. Thank you for taking the time to attend. I hope you'll find this time useful. My name is Alexandra and I work for UKOUG to deliver webinars such as this one. Today we are extremely grateful to welcome Yazad Dalal, Head of Strategy, HCM Cloud Applications, Europe, Middle East and Africa as host of this webinar. Should you wish to get in contact with Yazad, his email is on the screen and will be at different points through the webinar. Before we get started, I want to share a little bit about what us as UK Oracle User Group do to support you all, our community. We deliver content through webinars, meetups, events and conferences relating to all Oracle applications and technologies. Whether it's a problem with said technology, a latest update, or to make better informed decisions when deciding your journey, we as your community can help. Being independent from Oracle means we deliver unbiased content and provide honest solutions to your problems. We throw a number of webinars, events and conferences throughout the year and have over 600 organisations as members. And we also have a library which you can use at your leisure, which has all of our documents in. Whether you want to meet like-minded individuals, hear from your experts or put forward content to help others, we are the user group for you. As I mentioned, we organise a range of events throughout the year. I just wanted to briefly tell you about an event we've got coming up in June, which is the Business Applications Exchange. This is the Reinvented Applications Conference of the year. On June the 15th to the 16th, you can join the business apps community at the Oval for the latest updates and insights from leading Oracle experts. This includes Oracle e-Business Suite, PeopleSoft, JD Edwards, Hyperion, Apps Tech and Cloud ERP, EPM, HCM and Cloud Innovation. So the details is on the screen there. Obviously you can see further information on our website. Just a few housekeeping. Sorry, just bear me one moment, just double checking that all the screens can be seen. Apologies, I think you might have not been able to see Nat's slide there. So that's the Business Applications Exchange event that I mentioned a moment ago. So on to the housekeeping. So just wanted to cover a few housekeeping rules for the webinar. If you have any questions throughout the webinar, please just type it into the question box to the right of the screen, and I will put those questions to Yazad at the end of the webinar. So type away as you think of them during the session, and then at the end we will come to those and I'll put them forward to him. If you're unable to hear me or see the presentation at any point, please also type in the question box and we'll try to do our best to resolve this. This webinar is being recorded and a link to this recording will be sent in a post-webinar email along with a copy of the slides used today. So without further ado, I'm going to hand over to our expert presenter. Just give us one moment whilst we change the presenters and then you'll be able to see his screen. So just handing over to you now, Yazad.
Wonderful, thank you very much for that warm introduction. Hello everybody, my name is Yazad Dalal and I'm responsible for the go-to-market strategy here at Oracle HCM Cloud. And I feel very lucky to be with all of you today. We're very grateful to you for working with us over, in many cases, several years, and in some cases, more than a dozen years. So thank you for continuing to be our partners and our customers. We, as I'm sure you're all aware, are a 40-year-old company.
Sorry, can I just pause you for one moment? I've just had someone come up on my screen saying that they can't hear, and one of my colleagues says that she can't either. They can hear me, but not you. Just give me one moment. Sorry, we're just going to have a look at this and see what's going on.
But you can hear me, is that right?
Yeah, we can hear you in the office, but I'm not sure that the delegates can at the moment. Sorry, bear with that too. Oh, somebody has just said they can hear you, so it seems to have cleared now. Okay, sorry about that disruption. If we can ask you to go back, sorry about that. I'll leave it to you.
No problem. No problem. Hi, everyone. Again, my name is Yazad Dalal, and I'm responsible for go-to-market strategy for Europe, Middle East, and Africa at Oracle HCM Cloud. And what I wanted to start off by saying is thank you. You are all longtime customers of Oracle and our HCM applications. We're very grateful for your continued partnership with us. And I think many of you have been with us for several years, in some cases over a dozen years or more. And so we really want to express our gratitude to you. As you know, Oracle is getting to be an old company, 40 years plus. And one of the things that I'm particularly excited about working here the last several years is that we're constantly trying to reinvent ourselves and innovate on behalf of our customers in order to make you and your businesses successful. And one of the clearest demonstrations of that in the last decade has been our commitment to upgrade all of our customers from our on-premises applications like eBusiness Suite or PeopleSoft or JD Edwards into the cloud. And so what we wanted to do today over the next 20-25 minutes or so is share with you a little bit of the thinking behind that approach, what our philosophy is in order to develop the right cloud software application that will make you and your businesses successful, why we do what we do and how we do it. And then at the end of this presentation, I'm happy to take any questions that you may have. And if you have questions that you think of after we have finished, please share them with the organizers of this wonderful call, and they'll make sure to get those questions over to me. We will, in the course of this discussion, talk a little bit about futures, and in that case, this slide just says those things might change over time, and so please don't hold us to all of it every single time. But we want to share with you a little bit about where we're headed. So these are some of the items that we'll cover. We won't spend a tremendous amount of time on each one. My goal is for you to leave this webinar having learned a little bit more about what our philosophy is behind Oracle HCM Cloud, what we believe is the future of HR technology in general, and how we're delivering that successfully for customers around the world. One of the things that I think is important to emphasize, and we all feel it, everybody on this call, I'm sure, and in our daily lives, is that the pace at which technology changes and the way we experience it has completely flipped. If I think back to about 15 years ago, I was working at a company called monster.co.uk, which I'm sure you would have heard of. And in those days, people would come to work to download music because the technology in the office was superior to what they had at home. Their internet connection was faster than what they had at home, and people were regularly getting in trouble for downloading MP3s off the company servers. And I tell that story because today, that dynamic has completely flipped. Instead, if you think about your own daily life, if someone says, hey, did you see that email? You will scramble for your phone first, because oftentimes you know that the server that's sending email to your phone refreshes faster, perhaps, than the servers that are sending the email to your desktop. And it's just an example of how the pace of change has now switched to being on the consumer side. That the tech that we have at home, our personal technology, our consumer technology experience, in many ways is often superior to what we receive at work. And that gap is widening. Yet at the same time, we know that the expectation that we have as consumers is also increasing dramatically. We have a comfort level for working with automation that we've never previously had because we're learning from the way we interact with our consumer technology, with our phones. It tells us where to go, when to be there, and even what route to take. That dependence is only going to increase to the point where we just recently did a research study that said that most people would actually trust orders that they receive from a robot or a form of automation in the workplace. And yet, conversely, we know that less than 10% of HR departments are actually working on deploying some of this emerging tech like AI and robotics. We also know that, generally speaking, all of us as employees, because we are all employees, are starting to have that higher expectation of the tools and services that we use at work. And we know that the most progressive HR organizations are focused on delivering better user experience, a positive employee experience. And so we think there's a direct link between the two. And that's really driving how we've developed our cloud application. And so let me share with you a little bit our philosophy behind Oracle HCM Cloud. We believe that through the use of technology, our customers are actually able to deliver a more human employee experience for their people. That by delivering a technology platform that constantly iterates and constantly innovates, that their people can work in a simpler way, in a smarter way, and in a more agile way. So this is generally our design philosophy, and I'll share with you a little bit of what that looks like today. I mentioned earlier that we're really focused on delivering constant innovation. Now, Oracle HCM Cloud, as it stands today, has been around for about 8 years. And if we look back to where we started, we built it as an application that you would use on your primary workforce tool, which is your computer, your laptop, or your desktop. And a few years ago, along with the consumer world, we recognized that more and more we're dependent on this device, the phone, and we made the big decision, which companies like Facebook and Google had made from a consumer perspective, that we would build mobile first, that we would actually design the entire application for the phone and then make sure it also renders appropriately for a desktop instead of the other way around. Today, we have changed that design philosophy again. Today, our global head of application development is a gentleman named Steve Miranda. He was presenting at Oracle Open World Dubai last week, and he was very clear. He said that we are going to be an AI first applications company, so moving from mobile first to AI first, and that the manifestation of that will be that we no longer even one day interact with an app. We'll simply be talking to our phone, either by typing or speaking. And the way that manifests today for us is the digital assistant, and I'll tell you more about what that looks like. Along with constant innovation is constant iteration. You know, one of the things that for those of you on this call who are working in organizations where you continue to use PeopleSoft or eBusiness Suite, you know that the upgrade cycle is measured in years, and that there's tremendous preparation and budgeting required in order to prepare for those upgrades. Kind of like in the consumer old days, where we were so excited about Windows 95. Every few years there was a new way to use our personal laptops and computers. Those days are old. And what we're doing today is helping our customers who are upgrading into the cloud to recognize that actually the new paradigm is that we update, instead of every 4 or 5 years, every quarter. And that every quarter we're able to deliver basic small updates as well as significant updates, new innovations as we release, and do it in an incremental way. So just like when you use your Uber application or Facebook or other consumer tools, Instagram, etc., that the changes are incremental, but over time you realize, oh wow, this has improved significantly than from 6 months ago, but incremental enough that it doesn't feel like you're starting from scratch every time you receive an update. And we're doing this not just for Oracle HCM Cloud, but in fact across our entire cloud applications platform. So for those of you who may not be aware, we actually provide software applications across the entire front and back office. That means financials, procurement, supply chain, etc., CRM, customer service, marketing. We offer applications across this entire suite. And we do it not only all in the cloud, but on the same platform. So for those customers who are on this call, and you would know this, but around the world we have thousands of organizations who are actually using Oracle not just for HCM Cloud, but in conjunction with all of their financials, all of their policy management, all of their supply chain management, their CX, their CRM, on a single platform. And we're the only ones in the world that offer this full breadth on a single platform. And that's important for a lot of our customers, especially those in very mission critical industries where it's so important to have all of your technology sit on a single data model with a single technology, a single security model, and most important, in my opinion, because all the users of all these applications, in particular the HCM,